I was playing the Binding of Isaac the other day and a question came to my mind. How much poop is in the game? Binding of Isaac is pretty infamous for having a lot of poop related items, enemies and overall environment. So I decided to actually figure out the answer to this question, and several other ones, like on what stage there is the biggest amount of poop, which stages have more golden poop, or what the ratios are for different poop types in the game. Because I'm not insane enough to calculate each poop entity individually, I will be using my programming skills to do so. Most of the Isaac media is packed into files with .a extension. First, what we need to do is unpack it. These files are like matryoshkas. Inside one packed file, there are several other packed files. For the first step, we need to use built-in resource extractor tool, which unpacks all of the resources into logically divided files. Here we're interested in a folder called rooms, and inside we can see that each file represents a specific stage. Now let's talk about how exactly we will calculate the amount of poop. Isaac uses procedural generation for its levels. It uses seeds to generate what each stage will look like, by selecting random rooms from a large collection of predetermined layouts for that specific stage. All of these layouts are stored right here, in the rooms folder, so we can decode each room and inspect every entity inside it, to determine whether it's poop or something else, like an enemy or a rock. I've written a script that does precisely that. I've checked the encoding schema from the Basement Generates open source projects. Kudos to them. It would have been much harder to decode binary encoded data just by myself. Here is the overview of the encoded stage structure. We're only interested in the entities array, because here we can check if the entity is a poop or not. Each entity has 4 fields: type, variant, subtype, and weight. One thing to notice is the weight parameter. It's basically a probability with which this entity would be here, because at the same place there could be different entities, depending on RNG and seeds. For simplicity, we'll be treating poop probability as 100% in all of the cases. So, we're interested only in the variant parameter, because this is basically the identifier of the entity. Using this, we can say if it's a poop or not. Script just iterates over all of the entities and check for these IDs. And each time we hit one of these IDs, we increase the total amount of poop and poop-specific parameters, to make the end stats more interesting. After running it, we have the results. I've organized everything into charts. The most poop stage is not surprisingly draws. Here is a graph with the overall poop distribution across stages. Another way to measure how much poop is the stage is by counting PPR. What is PPR, you might ask? It stands for poop per room. This metric represents the average amount of poop you will encounter when entering each possible room on a stage. The results are actually quite similar, but as a scientist, we should consider different perspectives on the same question. Stages with the most amount of rainbow, gold and holy poop are special rooms, meaning treasure rooms, secrets and bosses. And here are the overall stats. As we can see, in total there are almost 12k poop entities. If we assume that the average poop weight is around 200 grams, that means Isaac contains around 2.4 tons of poop. And as a bonus, in this video I've said the word poop 24 times. I don't have OCD, I swear.